Welcome to the Can Wine Podcast, where we open cans of wine and talk about it. We are in Season 4, Episode 44, approaching the end of our Rosé Roundup, and that sort of spells the end of the season, but have no fear, we'll be back again next year, and we're not quite there yet. Now, today, with our theme of the Cantastic Journey, we're heading to the south of France, near Montpellier, west of Marseille, and we're going to be opening a rosé as we are in the Rosé Roundup. But first, our wine nerd word of the week. And I thought it would be fun, being that it's episode 44. Why don't we go for the 44 Magnum? Well, in wine terms, Magnum is essentially a double-sized bottle, 1.5 liters. So in the standard 750 milliliter bottle size, that's 2 bottles. So a Magnum has its certain advantages if you're having a party, if you're aging wine, and certain things. Now, in can size, that's actually 6 cans of wine. So if you ever try to drink a 6-pack of canned wine, you're essentially drinking a Magnum. So I don't recommend that. It's a little bit much for anyone. But the nice thing about the can of a 250 milliliter size, like today's can, is that it's a nice format if you just want to have a glass of wine. And our guest this week, Maura, is here. And how are you doing, Maura?
I'm great. I'm excited to open this Pinot, what we got going on here.
Great. And Maura is local here in New York. We both live in New York's backyard, so to speak. And this wine, even, we'll get to that later, it has some New York heritage to it too. So could you read us a little bit of introduction to this can?
Absolutely. This is from the Pinot Project, which I've heard really wonderful things about. It's a 2024 Rosé from France. It is, as you mentioned before, a 250 milliliter can, and it has 12% alcohol in it, which is really perfect for a glass of wine.
Exactly. And the Pinot Project was started by a New York importer, Michael Skurnick, and his project was to get Pinot Noir grapes. He started out with California varieties and make a very solid Pinot Noir with it. But then he also drifted into Pinot Project Rosé, which isn't from California grapes but uses French Pinot Noir grapes. And then he also has a white wine, I think, that uses Italian grapes. So he likes to get imported grapes and either can, or it's available in bottles, but I don't think it's available in Magnum, so to speak. But now, what do we know about this one? Well, it comes from the south of France, from Pays d'Oc. I hope the pronunciation is right, but as I say...
Yeah, it's all good. We appreciate you trying.
Je ne parle pas français. I don't speak French, but
right.
I'm getting better at it. And create this there. And in that area of France, the rich volcanic soils and the older, they're 20-year plus vines that this stuff is grown from. And the French know a bit about wine, so we can expect good things from this. Then they hand press it. They say very gently. Well, we'll go with that. And then they process it in stainless steel vessels, which helps to maintain both the subtle color from the skins as well as those very prominent fruity flavors. That's preserved by aging it in stainless steel rather than putting it into some oak that may affect that. So it's probably going to have a pretty bright taste. Now, this, just to give you some background, I picked up from our friends at Chillmark Wines and Liquors.
Oh, yeah. Wonderful.
Yeah, which is just down the road from you on Pleasantville Road. And they were very happy to, I think I got a 4-pack of it. It was a decently priced 4-pack. It's right by the till. They have a huge selection of what they call ready-to-drink stuff, but only a few select wines. And so far, I had another French rosé that I shared with Mark and Amy Seiden.
I remember. We're all neighbors here.
Exactly. And I was having, I don't know if it was a senior moment or a canned wine moment, but yeah, and Amy quite enjoyed it and sent a picture of it, and we had
Oh,
talked.
wonderful.
They quite frequently have wine tastings, and we had talked about the possibility of tasting canned wines. And she said, "Oh, I don't know. A lot of people are kind of like, yeah, wine should come in a bottle, and and but then a lot of people drink wine that comes out of a box. I mean, everything has its place, and if you're looking for something at the end of the day or at the beach, maybe you just don't want to open a whole bottle of wine. You don't have your
No, I think this is perfect for a picnic in the summer. This is really a perfect size, and it's easy to grab and go. So, and that's what we're all about these days, right?
You want to take it. A friend of mine's mother, who's well into her 90s, said she just loved to take the cans to Mahjong because it fit easily into her walker, and she didn't have to worry what she was going to do with the rest of the bottle when
Right.
she'd only have one glass, because that's all it takes. So she thought the can format was great for the small portion. So
Absolutely.
what we do at the Canned Wine podcast is we open cans of wine and talk about it. And we have been talking quite a bit about this one. Maura, are you ready to open this can?
I am ready, and I got my can right next to my speaker here on my phone. So you just tell me when, and I'm very excited to open this here. Wonderful.
Pour it out and tell me what you see.
Oh, I see wow, I see a lovely rosy hue.
I'd describe this as sort of a light peach color.
Yeah,
It's
light peach.
citrus, and
Yep.
and let's have a little taste. Nice.
It's really lovely.
Yeah, the 2024 year was marked with a fairly early harvest, according to the information they published there, and that tends to be a very fruit-driven flavors, and I'm tasting a lot of fruit in this one.
I do, but I definitely taste the citrus as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's lovely. It's light. It's almost thirst quenching, to be honest. Like I could see on a hot day, like being really drawn to this and satisfied. This is lovely with some fish. This would be a really nice pair.
Exactly. They said this would be fantastic with grilled salmon or any other.
Salmon, perfect. Any like fatty fish would be perfect with this.
Some sort of light fare, even salads or white cheeses. These kind of things would be excellent with that, as most good quality rosés. And it doesn't have a lot of extra sugar, and it has a fairly dry flavor to it.
No, it is very dry. Sometimes I get nervous that a canned wine is going to be very sweet. I don't know why I have that, conception of that, but it's not sweet at all. It's very dry, which I prefer.
We've had some very surprising wines. We had a few Rieslings, and the Rieslings have changed. More recently, they have a lot less residual sugar, and they're very dry. And we had a Maker Riesling a while back that was it was very drinkable. Because, I mean, Riesling's sort of something you have with your parents, and it's kind of a sweet, almost pre-meal sort of drink. But the new Rieslings are dry and tasty and well done. So, and this, getting back to our current one, these people have done a good job with this wine. The label is very minimalist but nice, and again, the Pinot Project didn't fail to deliver a decent wine. So
no, and it's not too effervescent. So sometimes, again, when I'm opening up a can, I'm worried that it's going to be so fizzy, almost like a carbonated drink. But this is not that at all. This is a flat drink, and there are some carbonated ones, especially the Prosecco and Champagne styles. This is not that kind of a wine. So. But even rosé can be that carbonated, can be slightly carbonated.
Yeah.
But this is not. I would say this is not, and I appreciate that.
And I do have a dry sparkling rosé from Maker Wines. I don't know that I'll get to it this season because I'm the clock is ticking. I want to have this all wrapped up for the 250th birthday celebration on July 4th. So that's when
very exciting.
We plan to do our final broadcast that time, and we do have some footage. We've actually gone down to the Statue of Liberty, and that's a hike to get down to. We went to the Liberty Science Center, which kind of backs up to that, and it's a long drive down there. I was surprised, but it's something.
But well worth it. I mean, it's right on the Hudson. I mean, incredible views.
Yeah, and it's that's
and you're in the East Harbor at that point. It's not even. That's when the Hudson is emptying out into the harbor there.
Yeah, and you can see the Verrazano Narrows Bridge there and all that stuff.
Fabulous.
So it's fun to go over that side. I've gone. The other trips I've gone have come from the island of Manhattan. You take the ferry down to Staten Island, and you get a pretty good view of the Statue of Liberty there. But I wanted to go and see it for the the 250th anniversary. Plus the Science Center was there, and we took
perfect.
Wasn't a busload, but it was a bunch of kids down there, and we had a great time. And they got great displays there because we're big fans of the. I think it's the Hall of Science in Queens. With the static displays of the rockets. I just love that kind of stuff. So
I'm a big history buff, and I'm really into this quincentennial celebration that we're having here. Living on the Hudson River, history is all around us here, and I just love it. I soak it up. I'm big on it.
Exactly, and Croton Point is. Just here where they, I think that's where they captured Andre and did all that kind of stuff. So, like you said, he was captured down in Terrytown, but that's...
He was captured right here in Terrytown, but I think he was put in a boat and taken off to Tapan, which is, the Tapan Inn, and which actually is still one of the longest... operating taverns. It still operates today.
Yes, exactly.
The 1776 house. So, the Hudson River is really, it's full of history. I mean, it's 315 miles long. I don't know if you knew that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, I've been up to the headwaters. We stayed in
the Tier of the Clouds.
Yes, exactly. And saw it, and we were a bit shocked. We're like, "This is the Hudson River? Oh my God!" It's just a little more than a stream at that point, but it eventually gets all the way down here, and then the point where we are is actually a combination. Depending on which way the tide's running, it can be fresh or salt water. So
correct. It is tidal. Yeah. It is tidal. It's the river that flows both ways.
Yep.
And back in the 1600, it was a superhighway, and it provided fish and oysters, and people living in this area really counted on that. So
there was no other. You were either walking, riding a horse, or bulk materials always came by ship, and that's what the Hudson River was.
Absolutely. So
well, we will continue our conversation offline, but I wanted to thank Maura, you we talked about this for at least a couple of seasons, and I'm so glad that I was able to get you the Pinot Project, because I think it's a really decent wine, and like I said, Michael Skurnick is the New York importer and the guy that put this all together, so hats off to him. He's doing a great job with that.
Yeah, cheers.
Here at the Can Wine Podcast, I still have a couple of these fantastic New York themed postcards with yellow cabs and different skylines on it. So what we do is anybody, obviously you're going to be getting one for participating. We greatly appreciate it. And anybody that subscribes, answers our questions, we always have a head scratcher on the at the final ending here. So if you can answer our head scratcher, you will get one of these, we'll track you down and mail you out a real postcard with a real American stamp on it, and you'll get your piece of history there. So our shout out is one thing we do. We'd like to shout out to you, Maura. It's been great that you've been able to come on here, and also, as you said, I mean, you're literally, you make a living with history as a tour guide at some of the historic properties around here. So it was good for you to offer that up to our exclusive listeners who maybe will look a little bit more into some of these things, because like you said, the Hudson Valley and the Hudson River is essentially just a historic treasure trove, especially with this 250th anniversary. This is where it all happened, really.
Exactly. Yeah. This is where it happened. There's history all around us, so we are very fortunate.
You got George Washington crossing from Stony Point over to Verplanck, all of these kind of things, and many of the battles were fought right here. So
come visit us in the Hudson Valley, please.
Exactly. And we'll also give a shout out to all of those who participated. We have a number of producers from, all across the continent, and even as far south as Singapore, the people that were able to join us and open cans of wine. This is the whole thing. I'm opening this here, you're opening it there, and we're experiencing it at the same time, which is quite an interesting concept, and one that I really enjoyed essentially creating and continuing. So thanks to everyone that has participated. Cheers, guys. It's been a great season, and we look forward to another one. Also, a shout out to Alan Green and the people at the International Canned Wine Competition on the West Coast in Mendocino County. Boonville, I think, is where they're based out of. Guys, I know you're gearing up for your big event in July, and I hope you've got lots of entries, because we love to feature them here. And I think the Pinot Project has been featured. I should have done a little more homework. It may have won some awards, because it's a top tier wine. And that's the thing that you were mentioning more. There's a perception that canned wines are a cheap way to buy wine and these kinds of things. There are some good value points, but there are some very decent and very crafty wines that are put into cans for a number of different reasons. Not to mention that, it has a 74% lighter carbon footprint, just because of the weight and the bottling and the recycling. Aluminum is a great way to do this. Now, that said, there is a BPA-free lining inside here, so don't panic. It's not going to be dissolving the can anytime soon. So, in closing, we'd like to thank... Oh, I can't close just yet. I do have to offer a head scratcher, and it's going to be a double one. I'm going to tap into Maura's history and geography knowledge. The first one will be, how many miles long did Maura say the Hudson River was? And the other one is, how many bottles of wine is a magnum? So if you can answer one or two of those on our YouTube feed, or even on our Instagram quick flash, we'll answer that for you, and you will get a fantastic New York postcard. So that's our head scratcher. Now I'm closing now. So in closing, thank you for tuning into the Can Wine Podcast, where we open cans of wine and talk about it. Remember, as always, to enjoy responsibly. Just because it comes in a can, and these are pretty handy, don't take it with you drinking and driving. Stay at home, stay at the beach, hit the patio, go play mahjong with your girls and with your walker, and just chill out and enjoy responsibly. Remember, the Can Wine Podcast is a Center Stage production, all rights reserved.